Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Joslyn Davis along with Dana Ward.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to the ClevverTV Breaking Dawn Book Club. Today we are super excited to have with us one of the leading Twilight experts, Kaleb Nation, creator and man in charge, TwilightGuy.com, among many other things. Many other things. As well as my favorite lady ever, it's Deidre Behar. She's an entertainment expert all over the place and a Twilight fan.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for calling me your favorite lady ever.
Favorite lady ever.
I didn't know I had that title.
It's a tie. It's a tie here. This is going to be a really, really fun show today. We're breaking down chapters 7 and 8. And you guys know that the last show we left off with some serious honeymoon drama, angst, fornication, our favorite word ever.
It's a nice way of putting it. It's a PG-13
It went down.
Yeah, it went down.
It went down.
But before we get to all of that, I know that you guys have met a lot of the Twilight stars yourself.
Yes.
So, you know, our viewers would love to hear, what are they like? Like, who stands out to you?
You know, Ashley Greene is a personal favorite just because I'm always all about the fashion.
Yeah.
And I think Ashley Greene brings it when she shows up to events. She's always just such a sweetheart. She's the kind of person where if like everyone's booking it inside, she'll like say, oh, I'll talk to you for a minute, just let's go quickly.
That.
Sweet.
It's very, very appreciated on the reporter's part.
Oh, most definitely.
So she's definitely my favorite. How about you?
Charlie Bewley is my favorite.
Really?
He's the best. Like, I've probably met him 4 or 5 times at like different conventions and stuff, and he always makes time to come to the fan. Even like the fan sites were smaller than like the big news companies. He always makes time to come to us and do interviews, and he does crazy stuff. Like he'll grab our microphones and interview himself and all that.
Wow.
So he's pretty much the best. Him and Jackson Rathbone.
And you've met like everyone on the cast,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I've probably met Robert Pattinson like 3 or 4 times now.
So let's go ahead, jump into chapter 7. It's called Unexpected. Things open up. They're still on the honeymoon. Bella's having another one of these dream sequences, which I think really has a lot of foreshadowing in it for what's to come for them in the future. And then when she wakes up, Edward's gone. He's out hunting on the Isle Esme. And at this point, a little bit after this, is when Bella finally starts to put the pieces together. The dreams, the sleeping, the appetite, the late period, the small defined bump. She's pregnant. She tells Edward. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I guess I kind of saw this coming, but not really. Were you surprised at all?
Well, I just think typically when people go on their honeymoon, all they're thinking about is like each other, not necessarily about starting a family. You just want to enjoy each other and be husband and wife for the first time ever. So I definitely wasn't expecting it, but as I was reading it, I was sort of piecing the clues together like you said before, and I was sort of thinking, oh my gosh, is a baby potentially in the works?
Yeah, the answer is yes. And then Edward, we get his reaction, which is kind of different than what I think people would have expected. Can you give us some guy perspective on this?
Edward was extremely insensitive, in my opinion. I looked at that and I thought, really, is this Edward? What's wrong with this guy? You don't just walk up to someone. Bella was already in a mess right there, and he was offering no comfort at all. And I thought, wow. You're on your honeymoon and you're being insensitive, you jerk! Stop it! That's what I thought. I thought Edward, but maybe he was really worried about her. I think he has a little bit of, I mean, you can justify it slightly by thinking, oh, he thinks something's going to kill her. Maybe he doesn't think of it as a baby. He thinks of it as this is some sort of a parasite that's going to kill her. He doesn't think, because he doesn't think of himself as human, so he doesn't think of himself as being able to have children like that. So he thinks of it more of a parasite. So that's kind of how you can justify it.
And also, like, generally, he was trying to slow down the process of their relationship, and obviously, having a baby, whatever it might be, kind of speeds it up. So it was going in the opposite direction of what he wanted.
Definitely, and we see them call Carlisle at this point. Edward talks to him, and at that point, they are just like getting ready to get out of there as fast as possible so that they can get rid of, and I'm pretty sure he says get rid of this thing, which makes it even...
Completely agree with you on the word insensitive. I mean, if I was on my honeymoon and I got pregnant, the last thing I'd want you to do is call my stomach, the thing in my stomach, a thing. You know what I mean? Don't call the fetus a thing.
So true.
That could potentially be your son or your daughter. So just be a little more, you know, catering to the female emotional needs.
Seriously.
I feel like even Team Edward fans at this point were probably all like,
a little disappointed.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was Team Edward from the first book. I didn't really like Jacob so much at all. Don't hate me, but I just didn't. I liked Edward better.
That's fine.
And that's fine. Thank you very much. It makes me feel better.
We're good with that.
A lot of people don't agree with that.
No, I like Edward too.
But with Edward, that's what really, because I thought this is way out of character for him. But whenever you think about that, you think it has to be something to throw Edward so much out of his normal mode, of his normal character and who he usually is. Right. He's usually very sensitive most of the time. To throw him so much out of there, he had to have been really freaked out by something. And that's kind of the way that I thought of it. Maybe he really thinks she's going to die a horrible, horrible death.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think a lot of this insensitivity is the way that we're reading it, just springs from the love that he has for Bella at the end of the day.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why wasn't there a pregnancy test? Before you start getting all worked up over the prospect.
There's no pharmacy on this deserted island.
Do you know who Edward is? Edward makes things happen. He would have had that speedboat rush back to Rio, okay? And he would have had the most elegant of pharmacies deliver a plethora of pregnancy tests.
I wonder if it would have worked though, since it's like half vampire, half human.
That's the only thing. I don't know if the pregnancy test would necessarily be effective in this case.
Plus or a minus, you don't know. But that's the crazy thing, which we see as this chapter really progresses. I mean, obviously, the baby happens so quickly, and as they're getting ready to go home, Bella feels the baby move for the first time. Now, at the most, I mean, she's just days pregnant and the baby's already moving. I don't know much about pregnancy, but I'm pretty sure like you can't feel the baby.
You're not a pregnancy expert, Joslyn?
I'm not a pregnancy expert. But I'm pretty sure you can't feel the baby move right away, and it's at this time that she is like connected to the baby forever. And something at the end of this chapter that I thought really stood out was that, you know, Edward is on the rampage to get rid of this thing or whatever, and who does Bella call?
Rosalie.
Was
unexpected. Unexpected, totally definitely.
They're enemies.
Like the title of the chapter.
Completely.
Unexpected.
Bringing it full circle. There we go. No, I mean, if I needed advice, I certainly wouldn't turn to somebody who I've had issues with in the past. I'd want someone like Alice, who is empathetic and supportive and, I don't know, just could understand and come from a place of love, whereas you don't really know what you're going to get out of a response from Rosalie.
Well, I mean, truth be told, she did not want them to get married for this exact reason, because she didn't get to have the family that she always dreamt of, you know, when she was growing up, and she wants Bella to have options. So it's kind of interesting that they bond this way. I mean, I don't know, I thought it was really a cool part of the book.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to kind of like leave the island. The Brazilians come in, and what do they say? Touched Bella's stomach.
Don't touch mine.
Morte. You guys like that?
A little creepy. What if somebody went up to you and did that?
I would be completely
I'd run the
out.
other way.
I mean, it's a little bizarre.
Before they touched me.
But she
like
had that
spraying
that
holy water around me.
Exactly.
That'd be messed up.
So essentially, I mean, that's pretty much what happens in this chapter. They move on, they leave the island. And after chapter 7, we see a huge shift, because so far Breaking Dawn has been told from the perspective of Bella. And now we're moving into the Jacob sphere, as I will call it.
Nice way of putting it.
Were you guys excited to hear Jacob's perspective, or what was your...
I mean, I think I was definitely excited to hear from Jacob, but at the same time, I was sort of on this like pregnancy cliffhanger. I wanted to know more about what Bella was thinking, the emotions that she was going through. How about you?
Well, it was interesting because as a guy reading the Twilight Saga, you get into another guy's head. And it was, I mean, you get in there and you start to see what he's thinking about. He's very obsessed with Bella. He constantly thinks about her, and he constantly wants to punch things in the nose because everything irritates him, because Bella is off somewhere else with some other guy on her honeymoon, and he's stuck here alone without her.
I know.
It must be so frustrating.
It was.
Like
he seems very frustrated.
Quintessential guy problem.
And I have to say, I just feel so bad for Jacob. Almost throughout the entire series, my heart breaks for him. And then we learn in this chapter that the Imprinting Festival has continued. Paul has imprinted on his sister Rachel, which he's not too stoked about.
Jacob's sister.
Yes, did I
not his own
confuse that?
sister.
Sorry.
Just to be clear,
I'm so
There was
sorry.
no incest in the wolf pack.
No incest in the wolf pack. On Jacob's sister. And Jake's not too excited about this, but I mean, he gets it. What is he gonna do? I mean, what do you guys make of this whole imprinting thing? Does it creep you out? Is it romantic?
Gosh, I'm just so torn, because I'm a sucker for romance. I think it is so cute and classic when you can like identify what is that quote from Wedding Singers? Your soul's counterpart in one another. I know it's from Wedding Singers, or Wedding Crashers, sorry. Wedding Crashers. But still, it resonated with me. It's your soul's recognition of its counterpart in one another. I think that that's really, really a sweet thought, but at the same time, I don't know, it could be a little strange.
Yeah. I think generally, I think of it as being a little creepy just because of the future imprinting that's going to happen later.
Yes, later in the book, which we already know about.
Right, and it's kind of almost like fate-based. Like, you're meant to be together because fate has set that you will be together because you've imprinted. It kind of takes the choice out of, well, do you really love that person, do you not? But I guess at the same time, it's something that I guess a lot of people would want. They want to, if you have that surety, this is the right person. I know that because I've imprinted on that person. I'm absolutely certain I will be with this person forever. I have no doubts because I've been imprinted on. So I mean, it kind of goes both ways. It could be good for that, for the surety, but it could also be bad because it kind of takes the free will out of it.
Definitely.
But then you don't have to go looking.
Right.
It's just going to come to you.
Wouldn't that make our lives so much easier?
Gosh, I wish I could imprint already. Right. It's so much easier.
Gosh.
Another really cool thing that I caught right off the bat is that Jacob still has Bella on his mind hardcore. I mean, I never imagined him forgetting about her or sort of letting it go, but he is just waiting, hanging out at home, waiting to find out if the treaty has been broken so that he can attack. But of course, Sam, the leader of the pack, says, no, you have to wait for the Cullens.
In his alpha voice.
Although he does hear through his dad, via Bella's dad, that they're headed home because Bella has some sort of strange virus, not really sure what it is. But you know...
Some exotic disease.
Some exotic disease from Rio. Yeah. Obviously, we know what's going on here, but did you guys think for sure that Jake thought she had been turned into a vampire?
Of course,
what else would he think?
I mean, who goes away on a honeymoon and comes back with a weird, rare, exotic disease?
And no one's allowed to see her and all that. If I was Jacob, the first thing I would think is, oh, she's dead. They're just trying to make a story about it.
Right.
And, I mean, who knows at that point if Charlie would have known. So Jake is probably thinking, oh, Charlie, even if Bella is a vampire, Charlie would just think it was a disease.
Yeah, she didn't get all her immunizations before she headed out on vacation or something.
Rampant diseases on Isle Esme.
Isle Esme is a great place. And I actually want to read a line. I'm going to open my book very gingerly and softly.
She is handling these pages with the utmost care for all the viewers out there.
Do you see those gloves on her hands?
Like a baby, actually. Okay, so this is from the point of view of Jacob at the end of chapter 8. When he had the little, disagreement with the pack. And he says, Sam had made a very clear ruling. The pack would not attack the Cullens. Okay. He hadn't mentioned an individual acting alone. No, the pack wasn't attacking anyone today, but I was. Now, we discussed this a little bit off camera, and the way that I read this, when they said the Cullens, I included Bella in that. I mean, did you guys not see it that way? Did you see him just attacking everyone else except her?
Definitely. Oh, see, I was going to say definitely not. I thought Bella was totally not a part of what he was talking about. Okay, we were on the same page about that. Why would you kill someone who you are so passionately, madly in love with?
Yeah.
I thought he was going after Edward with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Definitely not Bella. He would never harm her. He loves her too much.
I definitely agree with that, but I also wonder if he doesn't really understand what a vampire version of Bella would be. Maybe he would see her and not see the Bella he's grown to love and be so passionate about, and maybe then he would be able to attack.
Because it seems like...
If not.
Good theory. Yeah, she could be totally different as a vampire.
Yeah. So you guys, we actually have a clip from a YouTuber that you might recognize. It's
she's
Nutty Madam. You guys know who she is.
One of my
She's
favorites.
amazing.
We contacted her and she actually wanted to weigh in on these chapters. Check out what she had to say.
Hey guys, hey Dana, hey Joslyn, thank you so much for asking me to weigh in on chapters 7 and 8. I have a whole load of opinions, but then you knew that. I love the quote in there about when you can live forever, you have forever to turn over every straw in the haystack to see if it's a needle. And I just think that's frighteningly beautiful. I think it's both quite frightening and amazing at the same time, because Jacob doesn't really know how to control his emotions when it comes to Bella. We've established that. But to see him realise that he might never see her again and then try and deal with that is really quite frustrating. So yeah, thank you so much for asking me to be a part of the Breaking Dawn book club, and I can't wait to see how you guys get on when you read the rest of the book. Thanks again. Bye.
Gotta love that girl. Don't you guys love the Nutty Madam?
She's amazing.
She brings it. And
well done.
She's just amazing on so many levels. Thanks for sending that in.
You make me smile.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as always, we've reached out to you guys, the viewers, because this is a totally collaborative book club. So I want to read some of your Twitter and Facebook responses. We asked, imprinting, is it creepy or romantic? Obviously, we all gave you our opinions, but here's what some of you had to say. I have Heart Alyssa over on Twitter says, romantic. It's like love at first sight. However, imprinting on your first love's newborn daughter is a little creepy.
Good point.
Yeah, good point. Now, Lady Dragonfly76 also on Twitter said, creepy. Besides the age thing, how do you get the imprinted to like the imprinter? Never got that one. That was definitely something that got me thinking as well. Then we headed over to Facebook, and Liba Adnan, hopefully I said that right, said, sometimes it's a very romantic thing, like with Sam, Paul, and Embry, but sometimes it's just a thing of gravitational moves, like Quill and Jacob. But it sounds great, that love at first sight idea. That's what I'm gonna roll with, love at first sight.
That was my impression of it, you know.
Or the analogy
that makes it way more romantic if you think
if you think of it that way.
Yeah. So you guys, what were the highlights for you from chapter 7 and 8?
I mean, I'm just so excited about meeting Renesmee and seeing how her progression with Edward and Bella while she's in the womb sort of comes to fruition. But, you know, I think Bella's relatability kind of came through really in chapter 7. You know, the fried chicken throwing up. I think these are things that women who are pregnant, regardless of whether you're pregnant with a vampire, human baby, or just a human baby, I think it's relatable, and I thought it was fun comedic relief for just a second.
Definitely. Yeah. What about
the
you
Jacob
guys?
nose punch, definitely. I was like, get that anger out, Jacob. Get it out. Punch him in the nose. Break that nose. That was my favorite part.
I love that Bella chose to call Rosalie. I just love that because, you know, they've had this kind of strange relationship all throughout the books. And it was kind of like, oh, I'm trusting you. You're like my sister now. So I really like that.
Making amends.
Yeah.
All good points. And I'm actually going to pose you guys one more question because we want to hear what you think about these highlights, as well as this question, which I just thought of as we were discussing this, and I really want to hear your feedback. Do you think that if Edward never existed, Bella and Jacob would be together? Yes, no, maybe. We want to hear what you guys have to say, so leave detailed comments in the comment section. And I also, I don't know what's going to happen here. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming by and definitely let our viewers know how to keep in touch with you. So our entertainment expert, Ms. Deidre.
I'm on Twitter. Find me at her name is Deidre, D-E-I-D-R-E. I try to keep my tweets lighthearted and fun.
Over the place, so
I try to keep it fun. So
definitely tons of stuff. What about you, Kaleb?
You can find me at youtube.com/KalebNation. It's with a K. Kaleb Nation.
That's right, and we'll have it here for you guys. And of course, make sure to comment below. Stick with us here for all the rest of the Breaking Dawn Book Club episodes coming at you every single Saturday leading up to the big premiere. From Dana Ward and all of our ClevverTV peeps, I'm Joslyn Davis. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out the Breaking Dawn Book Club. Now, if you like what you just watched, make sure to subscribe to ClevverTV so that you never miss an episode. Also, we really want you to go ahead and get involved in the book club. So feel free to tweet us over at twitter.com/ClevverTV using the hashtag BDBC. And then, of course, we're going to be mentioning tons of you in the Breaking Dawn Book Club. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.